welcome back. This is the M2 podcast. I'm your host, Michael Anthony. My co-host right here is KyleHeath. This is the show where we try to cover all gaming industry related news that happened over the last week. We're going to be talking a bit about another GameStop pivot, I think would be the right thing to say here, Kyle. Not talking about GameStop meme stock, but or whatever you want to call it. We're not talking about that. We're going to talk a little bit about Activision as well. A little bit of a habit going on in the the Twitter sphere of people complaining about games. A little bit of marathon update, and we're gonna dive into pretty much Xbox exclusives. But before we get into it, Kyle, how you been, man? I see you're wearing, was that Peyton Manning jersey?
No.
Was he 16? I can't remember.
I don't know. I honestly don't know his number.
I think he might have been 18.
It might have been. No, dude, this is
good. Oh, that's Clemson, dude.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm
completely
colorblind. My bad, dude.
Good old Trevor Lawrence, maybe 16. Back when we had it good, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, week 1 college football, it's coming up, dude. It's right around the corner, dude. So
it's already here. It's already here. I watched Georgia Tech beat Florida State. That was pretty awesome. I know you enjoyed that too.
Yeah,
so
it's a good game. It's a good game. Yeah, dude, that was a crazy ending too. So started off the season strong, I think. So yeah, pretty good stuff. But like the true week 1 is this weekend. So everyone's gonna be playing. So I'm excited to catch up on all the games. And then got NFL next week. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
We're so back, Mike. We're so back.
We're so back. We've never been more back.
Never been more back. But yeah, dude. So gotta celebrate the boys for week 1. But except for that stuff, what I did this past week, I played a little more Flintlock.
Very nice. How was it?
You want to be honest, Mike? You want me the honest truth? Is that what you want?
Well, yeah.
Listen, dude. I might have to lower the difficulty. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, you're getting cooked.
I'm still getting cooked so bad. Like it's just so bad, dude. Like, and it's to the point where I'm just like, I literally
thought you were a gamer.
I played for like an hour. And I was like, I gotta step away. So I was like, because I was just getting cooked so bad. I was like looking at the difficulties. There's a difficulty below. I'm doing normal. The difficulty below it is story. So it's literally just like holds your hand, I guess, just so you can experience the story. And I'm just like, I feel like it's gonna be way too easy. So now I'm just like, I don't know. I may try for a little bit, but I don't know, dude. It's like I want some difficulty, but it's just like I don't know if I would have put in the effort to try and get good at this, dude.
Wow.
I just don't know.
That's crazy.
I'm serious, man. I don't know. I feel almost embarrassed admitting that, but it's just like, I don't know, dude. Just can't do it.
That's just called getting older, bro.
You
can't keep up. You're not a gamer anymore.
Like, I don't know, man. There's something about it. It's just like, I just don't find it enjoyable. Like, try and, learn this game. If it was like I feel like if it was like a Dark Souls or something like that, where it's like, I feel like I'd be more intrigued to actually try and get good and like experience the game for what it is. But it's just like it's this game. It's a Souls-like, like albeit just average review kind of like just game. It's not bad, but it's like I don't know if I want to put forth as much effort to try and get good at this game and like maybe experience it on that level. But I don't know, dude. It's just like I'm almost ashamed to admit it, but it's just like I don't know. I may just have to try out like the lower difficulty and just see if it's way too easy, and then. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think go from there.
I mean, I would recommend that too, because if you're not having fun playing the game and
exactly,
you're getting beat up, what's the point on playing?
I don't know. That's my attitude, and I know like I'd probably get cooked for that by so many hardcore like Souls-like fans, but
for sure, yeah. Just like you got to play it the right way. That kind of attitude.
That's what I'm saying, but I don't know, dude. It's just not my game, dude. It's not my game. I just say it.
I get it, man.
I don't know, but at this point, I want to see more of the story, because the story at least was kind of like, okay, this is interesting. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the story difficulty guy, dude. I don't know. At least for this game, we'll see.
Yeah. But, it's good you're at least like keeping up with the game. Did you play anything else though?
I don't really think so. I don't know. I just thought about it today. It's like, especially on my PC, I don't think I've played a game on my PC like for most of summer. Like it's been like console. That's pretty much like been it.
Yeah.
I've just been on the console kind of thing. So ever since we got that Xbox here, it's just kind of like I'd rather just play in the living room. So
yeah,
like just spend time away from the setup. So yeah, no, it's been like a non-PC summer for the most part in gaming wise for me. So
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that trend may continue, but I don't know, dude. It's nice having a console. I haven't had like a proper like console setup. I feel like in a while, so it's been nice to have that.
Yeah,
So,
just chilling, like laid back on a couch with the
yeah, dude.
controller in your hand, dude.
I took
It's
out
nice.
I bust out the Elite controller, bro. That's what I've been using.
Heck yeah.
So,
My Elite controller is completely chalked, but I have so many other dude. I have an insane collection of controllers at this
yeah.
point. I can't be going out getting any more.
Yeah, it's like
So
hit my cap. But I don't know. So I don't know, dude. Maybe I'll do some story mode Flintlock this week. We'll see. I know
you
with
should.
football and everything, I'll certainly be watching with friends and family, and so won't have
Just
as much
saying,
time at home
yeah.
probably. So, but we'll see. But I mean, I don't know because I'm gonna have some vacation time next week, and I won't be working as much. So maybe I'll actually have some time to like hop on since I'm gonna be working.
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, you got
Yeah,
to like actually enjoy the games you're playing and enjoy your free time,
yeah, for sure. So,
or keep going to the beach, bro.
I mean, yeah,
Enjoy
we're
it while
coming
the
up the
weather's
end.
still
Yeah,
good.
coming up at the end of summer.
Yeah,
Huh? So.
yeah. We had a really hot week this week, so
Well, yeah, and I'm sure next few weeks it'll be kind of like on and off until October hits,
Mhm.
and then it may start getting normal. We'll see.
Oh yeah, dude.
Then fall might hit, but I don't know. I don't know, dude. I'm excited. I'm excited for football. I'm excited for fall in general. Just that season, dude. It's become my favorite one. So,
Yeah,
like saying,
very
it's
cool.
part of getting old, dude. You start liking the colder weather, and I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I'm super excited for colder weather. Just for the fact, because colder weather to me means snowboarding season. It
Very,
means I
yeah,
get to go
that's
to
true, dude.
slopes.
It's true, yeah.
Now it's been getting warmer and warmer, so going to the slopes on the East Coast, like in the Carolinas or in well, it's really only in North Carolina,
Yeah.
or like going up to West Virginia,
Mm.
it's getting kind of a hike where it's like, maybe it's not really worth it. And then the
Yeah.
ticket prices to go up to Colorado and Utah is so expensive that you're like, oh no, man, I don't even think that's worth it
Mm.
anymore.
Jeez.
It's like pretty much the same cost to go to
Mm.
like Denver or go to Breckenridge as it would be to fly to like Switzerland, go to the Swiss Alps,
Yeah. Yeah,
which is
dude.
madness, dude.
That's insane, dude. That's a whole other part of the world, and yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. They're price gouging out there in Denver. But well, not Denver, but Breckenridge and
oh, dude,
Keystone.
it's just insane, dude. The times we live in, it's just crazy,
Hmm.
man. Absolutely. But
Absolutely ruthless.
look, dude, I know you were on Halo, bro. I was catching some of the streams.
Oh yeah,
Watching
appreciate
you go
that. Yeah.
crazy against some of the boys, dude. Good times.
Yeah, I've been trying to kind of take it a little bit more seriously, and like, cause like I used to take it kind of seriously a couple of years ago when I was just either one playing Halo Infinite competitively, or I was like, let me get back into gaming again and
Yeah.
like competitive gaming again and watch my VODs back and like watch how I'm communicating and like what I can do to make myself better and just try to improve because that was like the challenge. But over the last like year or so, I was like, who cares? Let's just get on, not care, no warm ups, no
Mm,
nothing. Let's just
yeah.
go play. And I was getting beat up, but like recently I've been doing much better, and that's what I'm trying to trend towards. I'm working like I have the old S type controller. For those of you that don't know, I've been playing on the original Xbox, and I found these like little grip stickers. You can see it if you're watching the video, but
Fire.
basically you can like grab these stickers, uh, grips, kind of like anybody that's ever seen a skateboard. It's kind of like grip tape. I mean,
Yeah.
it's literally grip tape, but yeah. So I got those. And I put them on the controller because it started like slipping out of my hands, and I like replaced the joysticks and
So,
stuff. So it's like
is it
it
actually
looks
like rough?
clean.
Is it rough to the touch? Is it coarse?
Yeah, it's not rough. It's not
Okay,
it's
I
not
gotcha.
that it's not that level of skateboarding because skateboarding
Yeah, it's
like
like
grip
it's meant
tape
to stick
is
to
like
shoes, right? So
oh
it's like,
yeah, that stuff's sandpaper. This is more
yeah.
like this is similar to an Elite controller on that
Okay.
like felt grip. It's not rubber. Like this isn't
Okay.
rubber. Like on the Elite it is rubber,
Yeah.
but on this it's like a thin plastic grip. I don't know how to
Interesting.
really.
Okay.
You know how you get like sometimes you get these mouses where they'll have the little sticker things that
Oh
can
yeah,
attach
yeah.
to it. It's like that.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
little secondary grip.
Yeah.
I've been playing that on the OG, playing with people. More and more people are coming back, dude. It's actually kind of nuts. Like playing with strong side last night while she's playing right now. And it's like if
Dang.
anybody's ever been in esports, it's like you should know at least one of those guys, probably Walshy.
Yeah.
So to hear that, oh crap, he's actually playing in the server that I've been playing in for like years now because this is the only place to play Halo 2. It's kind of nice. It's not the
Yeah.
only place, but it's kind of the only place that matters in a way. Um, it's just where the better players are. So it's been
Mm.
kind of cool. I got into a little bit of arts and crafts. I'm gonna show it on stream when I get finished. But
Hey.
I took apart an old controller and I was thinking, I was like, well, what can I do with this to try to like spice it up, right? So I bought acrylic paint, not ideal, I'll be real, but I can like sandpaper it down and get it nice and smooth, which is what I wanted to go for. Because you can get splotchy when you paint things with spray paint.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like get the acrylic, smooth it out. So I got I think it's Banta. It's either Vanta or Banta black ink, acrylic paint. It's the blackest black you can buy. Whatever. Have you seen those like
dark.
viral videos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like where they paint the cars and the car doesn't look real. It's like
It's
I
like-
did that with a controller and I'm pretty stoked. And now I got acrylic glow in the dark paint. So I got to figure out what I want to do on the controller with the colors so that it like really pops. And if I leave it out in the sun, it'll get all the light, and then at night it'll glow. It'd be pretty sick.
Sounds
So,
like it'll be sick.
yeah, it's kind of an idea, and it's just something to keep me, I don't know, occupied. I've been like doing all this other stuff around the house, and I was like, I don't need to just sit in front of a desk and play the entire time. Like, let me chill in the living room, paint a little bit, and have like tunes rolling.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to listen to like EDM artists I've never even heard of before. I asked one of my buddies that's like super into DJs, and he named like 3 guys I've never heard of in my life, and I'm like, okay, I guess
All right.
it's like I'm gonna listen to this now, like try to like learn something new,
Yeah.
switch it up.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. Hey, dude, it's good to do stuff like different, right? I mean, I think that's been part of probably why I'm not at my desk so much this summer. It's just like, just
Yeah, you're doing something
get
different.
out, do stuff like, like, experience other parts of the house that like have been
Yeah,
neglected
yeah.
for so long, I feel like. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
trying to-
100% what I'm doing too.
Try to use
Yeah.
my square footage, you know what I'm saying? So.
Facts, dude. It's funny too because I can relate to both of those. One, I've been neglecting this area, so I got stuff all over the place, and like
Yeah.
I need to clean it up and like get organized. The rest of the house spotless. Everything's organized, like very nice. It's usually the opposite. And then
Yeah.
I also moved my console, my Series X, into the living room as well.
Oh yeah,
And that
yeah.
has like all the emulation I could possibly need on it.
There
So
you go, dude. Yeah.
it's a war machine over there, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been
Wild
cool,
stuff,
man. It's
dude,
been
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, good times. Sure.
Yes, sir. But I'm done ranting. I kind of want to get like into the next topic of discussion because it's about retro gaming,
Oh, dude,
and I'm
sure
pretty
is.
excited about
Sure
it
is.
because I've been playing the original Xbox.
Yeah.
So if you want to lead us into it,
I will. Yeah, this got me excited. I heard about this. I think there have been reports of this back in like July, maybe even earlier in the summer. But
Yeah.
but I wasn't really sure. I didn't really read into it, so I didn't know when these would be happening or if they'd be happening. But lo and behold, GameStop is pivoting to retro gaming at select locations. Retro branded stores will include classic consoles and physical games from Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and Sega. This is coming from Will Shanklin over at Engadget. We haven't covered Engadget in a while, so
a very long time. Yeah.
yeah.
Good catch.
But GameStop Retro. So GameStop is pivoting to retro games at select locations as the industry moves to digital media and the retailer struggles to adapt to the shifting landscape, including a short-lived stab at NFTs. The company is betting on the old school. GameStop Retro locations will stock physical consoles, discs, and cartridges from classic Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and Sega platforms. The retailer announced the retro GameStop locations in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter. The company also has a website where you could search for retro-friendly locations within a 100-mile radius. I found a grand total of 1 in my city, according to Will. It's funny. I found 2 in my city within 50 miles. Just don't mean to brag,
Yeah.
but
I found 2 in 30 miles. How about that?
okay. So GameStop lists 18 classic systems supported by its retro stores, stretching back to the 8-bit glory days of Nintendo Entertainment System. Here's the complete list according to the company's brief announcement, including their U.S. launch years. So they will be covering NES, SNES, Game Boy, Sega Genesis, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, N64, Sega Dreamcast, PS2, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo GameCube, original Xbox, Nintendo DS, Xbox 360, Wii, PS3, Wii U, and Vita. It's kind of crazy because, like, talking about the Wii, we're talking about the Xbox 360, the retro consoles now, Mike.
Yeah, they are.
Can't believe it.
Technically. Yeah, it's been a long time. You know, I'm really excited though, is I just found my Super Nintendo.
Oh,
Like
there you
it's
go.
in that
Nice.
closet over yonder.
Yeah.
And I found it. I got everything but the connection port to hook up to a TV.
Oh, dang.
So I'm gonna go to the store. The nearest one to me is like maybe 15 miles away. I'm gonna drive up
Check it
there
out,
and
dude.
go, yeah, see if I can find it.
I mean,
Yeah,
hey, one way to get it. Yeah, I think it's just wild to me. 360 is 20 next year. Just think about that. Like, oh man.
whoa.
Oh, the PS3 will be 20 in 2 years. It's even crazier. Yeah, dude. It's dude, the
Yes.
DS is 20 years this year. What the
Yeah,
heck, dude?
I was looking at that too.
What the?
The
Oh
GameCube's
man.
already over 20 years. You know what's wild is like I told my parents this to never throw away like my Nintendo stuff ever.
Right.
And man, that has been a blessing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
out here finding Game Boy games and stuff,
Um,
and I'm like, I could probably look this up and then check the price. It's like, oh crap, this is like $20, and I haven't
yeah.
played it in forever, and it's basically in pristine condition. This is nuts, dude. And
Yeah.
then it goes for even more if they're in like a box. But I don't think anybody kept their boxes in the '90s or early
Oh
2000s.
yeah. No, not really. Occasionally you'll find like N64s where people like actually kept everything, and then
Yeah,
that's so rare.
that's super rare.
Oh man.
N64 is a really odd one too, because I mean, a lot of these consoles, this is good. So there's upscalers now where you can use it with modern hardware, and there is a bit of like input delay, just because that's the nature of it. But it's not
Yeah.
as big as people would think it is. Like you can get used to it over time,
Right.
and it breathes life back into the old consoles and makes them more valuable.
Yeah.
It's really
Sure.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I used a kind of a cheap one I found on, I think it was on Amazon with my NES, because I have an NES, I have a GameCube, I have a Wii. I'm all out here, and they were all my childhood consoles I held on to. Um, Again, like you're saying,
Yeah.
kind of feel fortunate I held on to that, and like the NES, I think was my dad's, and he passed it down to me. And unfortunately, the game, I think the 72 pin is not functioning properly, which is a bummer. I probably have to get that replaced, but um, it's still like, I've been able to kind of jiggle the games right a couple times to actually get it to
Yeah.
work. So, and when I do, it's always fun to play that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, because I've used that converter. To me, like the input delay is not even like hardly noticeable, at least on like Mario and stuff like that. But that's an NES, so it's
Yeah.
probably not going to be as
Yeah.
prominent. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like you're saying. I think it's cool to see something like this. I think just to be able to like, I wish there were more retro stores. And the only thing that concerns me, and I haven't really looked into, is like from a pricing standpoint. Like how is this stuff going to price in store? Because like even the old like GameCube games, I'm sure it's like most of them are going to be 60, $70 at least.
Yeah, they're GameCube in particular is going to be a lot. Like
Yeah,
anything Nintendo is going to be a lot. It's a little bit more inflated.
yeah,
PlayStation games, like the Japanese versions, especially because we're in the United States
yeah,
or just North America. If you're listening to us in Canada or Mexico, it's going to be really, really expensive. Like
yeah.
those type. But let me give you one price range that I know of just off the top of my head, right? Because I go to this Goodwill that I think it's the only Goodwill in the country that has a dedicated electronics section.
It's nice.
And yeah, they basically refurbish everything that they get. So they'll like
Okay.
um it's been pretty cool. I don't want to get into the weeds, but like with the original Xbox, they had a clock capacitor, like a circuit board
Yeah, like an
capacitor that
actual
would
cap.
yeah,
Yeah,
it would rupture over time.
yeah,
Um, and so they found like they take the capacitors out and solder new ones in so that
yeah,
it's still works. It's like that's pretty sick. And they'll do that. And when you buy the console, you get it, it's completely cleaned because they'll take it apart and clean it. They'll give you a cleaned as best they can cleaned, right? That's what I mean. It's all at the end of the day, it's goodwill. So you also get an Xbox controller. You get an HD, like no, not HD. It's a regular component cable and power cable for $80. So it's like, okay, that's not that bad. The only thing you're really missing is a game, and the games
yeah,
that they sell there are like less than $5. They have
yeah.
a
It's not bad.
ton of Xbox games, and I think it's mostly because you can soft mod an Xbox and get them all illegally.
Okay. Yeah,
But it depreciates the value. Whereas Nintendo, it's like you can do that too, but for whatever reason, the Nintendo fan base, maybe because it's such like an icon in the gaming industry, is it's more valuable and more desirable to have the actual copies. Whether or not you use them is irrelevant.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I think for me, like probably the closest thing to to that here where you can find retro stuff before this was like pawn shops and like even
Yeah,
Goodwills. Like the Goodwills here, it's like there's no electronics hardly. So it's like you're
eBay,
yeah.
Facebook
I mean,
Marketplace.
yeah, like that's your best bet.
Yeah,
Um,
or
something.
your best friend's older brother,
Oh,
and
yeah.
or like coworkers that are around your age, and they're just like, "Hey, do you have any of your old stuff that you don't use?" And
Yeah.
then just hope that they don't use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see that there's now going to be GameStops in most areas, so probably that you could just go to if you need something retro, and hopefully they have cords
yeah,
and accessories that you may need and whatnot. That'd be probably the most useful, I think. Just be to have stuff like that.
yeah. There's an official website for anybody that wants to check it out too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just the GameStop website. It's this retro store locator, so they made it more specific.
Yeah.
And I think what I'll do is because I know how much it is at the Goodwill, I want to see how they compare.
Yeah.
Because like I live in the city, so and the nearest one's outside the city. I'm curious because most of the time, like in the city, everything is about like 5 to 7, maybe even 10% more, depending on where
All
you
right.
are.
All right.
So if I'm outside the city, I wonder if it's cheaper. If I can get like a full
Yeah.
Xbox setup for less than $80, I'm doing that. I'm soft modding it, and then I'm like building like a dedicated server out of it. It'll be pretty sick.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Got plans. Yeah. It's
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd be curious to kind of see how it compares. There's a little bit left in this article. There's a little caveat
oh
he
yeah,
mentions at the end. He says, "You notice that the PSP isn't among the systems listed. Gadget emailed GameStop to try and confirm it's omitted, and learn more about the initiative. And then we'll update the story if they hear back. They haven't heard back. So,
haven't heard back.
it's interesting though. Yeah, no PSP. Which there's still like a niche that really enjoys that console, and I'm sure
Yeah,
collects them, and it's like so. It is interesting. They don't mention
it,
it,
I mean
but
PSP was pretty innovative at
I
the
mean, it
time.
was
So
the disc, dude. I think we're the sickest like form of game. It's like just a
exactly,
little spinning disc, and you throw it in. It's in a cart. Pretty cool. I
it's
mean, that
pretty
being
sick.
said, the Vita obviously like probably more accessible. It's easier to mod, that's for sure. If you were to
Oh
mod like
yeah,
a Vita and put games on it, and like they use like those, I think it was like a dedicated memory card or something like that they had. Um, so
yeah, yeah. They did. Yeah, it was way easier. I think. Well, I think the number one like gaming system that you should mod with or like use emulation for. Ooh, it's actually probably the best one to use emulation for is the Xbox Series S because of the affordability of it. And all you need is like a flash drive, and you can pretty much play everything before the Series S, and you're good
wow,
to go. That's pretty
interesting.
sick. But to actually mod, it's either the Wii or the Xbox 360. Probably the Wii because you get all the Nintendo games.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, but the Xbox 360, I mean, you can do some crazy stuff with that.
yeah. I haven't looked
Wild
too much
stuff.
into that like 360 modding, but I mean, I'd believe it.
It's wild. Yeah,
Yeah,
there are people right now that like turn their Xbox 360 into a recreation of the Halo 3 Xbox Live servers, and they're starting to do it with other games to bring the old servers back
yeah.
online so you don't have to connect to Microsoft servers.
It's wild.
Yeah,
Well, it's
it's
innovative.
kind of nutty. Very very nerdy stuff, but it's pretty cool. There's so many things that you can do now with the old technology that you couldn't do back then,
Oh yeah,
and people are now more educated in it, so there's like more free time for people to figure things out. It's pretty cool.
yeah.
So it's always worth going back to, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with every console in the regular life cycle too. It's like, you know, at the start of the life cycle of the console to the end, like you notice how technologically every ounce is like squeezed out of a console because games, like at the start of the PS3 and the end of the PS3, games looked night and day almost, just with graphical
Dude,
fidelity and what they were able to do. It's
it looks so much different. It's
yeah.
crazy.
So, same goes for the hardware too, I bet. So yeah, it's just like that. Um, but dude, Activision, they ain't like that with Crash Bandicoot 5. I'm like, that's all I'm gonna say.
No, sir. No, sir. That was a good segue right there. I wasn't even ready for it. I was like, dang, he went quick. All right. So this one's coming from Rock Paper Shotgun. And it's kind of a shame we haven't been on this website either in a while.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. Getting Engadget we haven't been to in a while, and then following up here, rock paper shotgun. So this article is done by Edwin Evans Thurwell, the most English name possibly. I'm not sure where he's from, but I'm just gonna automatically assume English. Anyway, sorry if he's not. Title of the article is Activision canceled Crash Bandicoot 5 to make room for more online live service games, claims the report. Binned off sequel might have featured a Spyro team up. That's kind of frustrating.
Dang.
Should we keep saying Activision though? Because it is kind of Microsoft now.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Could be them. So it's kind of a short article. We're gonna go ahead and just like get on through it. Let's go. This is an opinion piece article from Edwin over here, and I'm gonna read it in his words because honestly, it'll be easier for me to read and probably easier for you to understand. So here we go. I find it bizarre that people still really like Crash Bandicoot games in this year. The year 2024, 2 decades after the decline of the platform mascot wars. I have ample nostalgia for the old marsupial myself, with his second Naughty Dog developed outing being a particular obsession. But come now, we're all about deck builders, souls liking, and battle royale nowadays, right? Still, I'll admit to a twinge of disappointment after reading that a Crash Bandicoot 5 was once in development at Crash 4. It's about time developers, Toys for Bob, and might have featured an interdimensional team up with one of Crash's oldest rivals. And no, not Mario. So the rumor in question has been mongered by video game historian Liam Robertson via EG, which is Eurogamer, who claims that Crash 5 would have been another single player 3D platformer and a direct sequel to Crash 4, which released in 2020. Robertson has also gotten hold of some alleged artworks and story concepts. One proposal envisioned, visage, visage. What is that word, dude? Help.
Envisaged? Envisaged.
I guess.
That's what I would say.
My man's hit me with all of the words right now. So, one proposal envisage a game set in a school of villainous kids featuring returning villains such as Dr. Cortex. Another would have seen Crash join the forces with Mr. Spyro of the Dragon family. Another darling of the mascot era and Patient Zero for Toys for Bob's currently on hiatus Skylanders Toy to Life series. But then along came the Axemen of Activision, with their brutal talk of Crash 4 not meeting sales expectations and online live service games being all the rage, and these are like quotations of a quotation here. Crash 5 was apparently canceled in the very early days of development to make room for another live service Medu. Team members were moved to other projects such as Crash Team Rumble, released last year, which didn't exactly set the world alight. Toys for Bob washed their hands of Activision and went independent earlier this year following a round of layoffs. Back in March, studio heads Paul Yan and Avery Ladato declared that they were, and in quotes, in the early days of developing our next new game and ways away from making any announcements. And Edwin over here asked, I wonder if any of those abandoned ideas of Crash 5 had made their way into the studio's current projects. I don't know, man. What's your take on it? How do you feel about Edwin's thoughts on the whole saga?
Yeah, I mean, look, came kind of harsh on Crash at the beginning of that article. I'm not gonna cap, dude. Like he was just like, who be playing this in 2024? Listen, dude, there's definitely an audience. Definitely still people that would enjoy Crash a lot.
True.
I feel like Crash 4 wasn't like a bust either. I mean, obviously, like sales expectations from like a, from the company is like, yeah, whatever. But like, it was just a bunch of people still like the game. So, and Crash 5 paired up with some Spyro, dude. Like, come on. I think it would have been pretty amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's just live service games, dude. Coming in, these people thinking, well, they go print that money. We're gonna make this a live service game that's gonna smack, and then just have time.
It doesn't do anything.
Like, just doesn't do anything. And so, just another game that's fallen victim to the live service. Come again. Let's try this game and put this money into it, and then we're gonna advertise it, and then it's gonna come out, and core content's gonna be not there, and then people are not gonna like it, and then you're just like, you screwed it, dude. Like, there's no way to put it. So
yeah, I think I don't know, man. I think it's kind of interesting because Crash Bandicoot and Spyro were always like single player games, and they were kind of arcade-ish kind of games where it's
Right.
very simple to follow. Uh, the nuances weren't that complicated, but it was very new for the time period. Whereas
Yeah.
now is like everything's an online, always multiplayer saga. And you do have your like Elden Rings, you do have Hades and like all these other games that come out that are mostly single player that pop off and they get all the awards. What's the most recent one? Black Wukong?
Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, but that's more about like the best graphics, the best story. It's like that's not really what Crash Bandicoot is, you know? So it makes you wonder, it's like, who's it for? Because if it's for me, because I grew up playing those games, yeah, sure, that'd be awesome. But how many of the nostalgic fan base has the time availability and the willingness to pick up a controller and play those games again, you know? Because there's not that many of us at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
Dying breed.
People got stuff going on, man.
Dying breed,
Yeah.
dude.
So it's like, how can you attract a new audience? I think
That's a good point.
is their issue.
It's true. It's true. Listen, there's some IPs that at this point it's like it's time to move on. At least I feel that way. It's like make another one.
Which ones do you think?
I mean, well, obviously, alright, dude, I'm just gonna say it. Halo's one, but see, Halo 2
Halo's
and like
definitely
the old games are still good, right? And that's what people are playing. So I think it's only fair
But
that
they're already out.
kill Halo, dude. Just
Halo needs to die,
man.
I think.
Yeah.
Has to die.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it too, dude. Call of Duty. Like, what are we doing? I feel like at this point
Ooh.
it's like move on to another shooter or something, dude. Like it's just so generic. But then again, I'm so out on shooters, so you know, still a bunch of people that play COD. So you know, I'm
Well,
the
there are
odd one
other-
out. I feel like, but yeah,
Yeah, I think COD keeps people around because that's what everybody's friends are playing. A popularity of a
good
game and
communal,
like
yeah.
yeah, it's not just the game is like repetitive and stuff. It's the fact that like you and all your friends in school are also playing the game.
Yeah.
So it becomes games that you can like you play so that you can socialize with your friends.
Yeah, it's an easy one. Like,
And
oh, let's hop on COD. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I don't even like COD that much. I like playing the stories, even
Yeah.
if I think they're crap sometimes. And like I'll
Dumb.
just go through it. But like, bro, 2v2 blueprint gunfight when I can kill the person and hear them complain, and then in between the rounds we're talking trash. Dude, give me
that's peak, bro.
just give me that.
That's peak, dude. It's
Dude,
so funny, dude.
nothing-
It's so true.
Oh, nothing makes me happier than just talking crap to a PlayStation kid because they're the only ones that actually have like the open mics when they're on console. Talking, they really are. Like this is
Oh.
like just I see the icon PS live mic all like screaming in the background. It's always the same thing.
It's like
I love
controller mic.
Oh yeah,
Like
dude, it's the
you're-
controller mic's on. I hear the clicking and stuff. Oh, dude. Oh, I love it. And then I'm over here and like my controller, like my PC's outdated by like 4 or 5 years, but at the time it was like $2,500 setup.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm seeing the future over here. This man's locked in at 60 frames per second, talking trash, and I'm just like, I'm an old geezer and I'm about to ruin your day. I've been playing shooters for 25 years. You don't stand a chance, dog.
You literally don't. My life's about this, bro. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and not only that, but I'm playing with one of my boys that I've known for longer than that kid's been alive. It's like you don't stand a chance, dude.
It's like, listen, bro,
So-
it's over.
So I know we're getting like kind of distracted when it comes to like the old retro games and just like the IPs that should die, but I
Yeah.
think Crash Bandicoot and Spyro doesn't really have that. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah,
It's
no,
like-
you're totally right. I mean,
If
No
they
one-
can get that, dude. If you
Yeah.
had like a Spyro game where you had like you introduced new characters, dragons and stuff like that, and made some type of like flight sim fighting exploration game,
kind of sick.
Battle Royale, Spyro, that'd be kind of crazy. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
Like you upgrade and your flame out of your mouth turns different colors, you evolve like Pokemon. Like,
Dude, it's crazy.
You know?
Dude, hear me out. MMO Crash, all right? Online
Dude,
MMO Crash.
Honestly, I think most of the people that like played Crash Bandicoot growing up or like Spyro got into MMOs and that's all they play right now.
Yeah.
It's like
Probably some of them. There's at least a few.
I know people that are still playing old school RuneScape, man.
Oh yeah,
But-
and wow, dude, that new expansion came
Yeah.
out. Hey, it's
did.
still alive. So
Yeah.
Um,
But those are social games. That's what I'm saying.
they
Like
are.
if you
I
don't
mean,
have
it's
the
true, it's
social
true, yeah.
aspect, it's hard to retain an audience.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
in this day and age, yeah, I would agree. It's like, the biggest games are the multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
So there's definitely some truth to that. I mean, there's always an audience for single player. I'll always be playing single player games. But I think it's a good point too for like Crash itself. Just like this is a game where like it's kind of just ran its course, I think. And it's may not be a reason to do a fifth. It'd be cool to see a fifth. Just to see if how they would try and like, change it up and make it different and not make it another Crash game,
Yeah,
dude. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of franchises out there that it's like, yeah, it's probably good that they're over, and who knows.
I can get behind you with the whole Halo comment.
Yeah.
I can't really think of another one. A game that I want to see come back is this could actually tie into the social aspect. Is if they can make another Tony Hawk like Pro Skater Underground game.
Yeah.
That's like that goofy, stupid stuff, but everybody got into like skate, so that kind of killed
What's the thing?
vibe
It's like
of
now
Tony
it's skate,
Hawk.
right? And there's a new skate on
Yeah.
the way, so I mean,
It is,
Yeah,
that too. That's going to be a social game for sure. That's what they're aiming up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see how that does. I mean, it's been in development, feels like ages, but yeah. So open betas and stuff. I know they're doing like alphas, I think, soon and everything. So still got a little ways away, but yeah. I mean, that next skating game, I think it's gonna hit,
dude.
Gonna hit.
I think it's gonna hit. It looks so good, and they've been working on it forever. It can't miss, right? Right?
This guy just screwed him.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
Oh man.
Oh, jeez. All right, hit us up with the next article.
Want an opinion piece,
Yeah,
Mike?
I did. We basically just did one in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. Most of these are
all we do is really just react content. So this whole thing's an opinion piece.
It's whole content. That's the only reason you listen to this podcast, bro. Our opinions. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
All right. Anyway, PC Gamer. We have 2 PC Gamer articles this week. It's the first one. And this comes from Tyler Wilde. Like it's like it's spelled like Olivia Wilde, right? And that's how she spells her last name.
Yeah.
Think he's related? Probably not.
She is a very handsome woman. I'll tell you that.
Listen. So the eagerness to grave dance on unpopular games has become a bad habit. This is an opinion piece, pretty lengthy one. I'm gonna try and see you get through most of it. I don't know. Maybe we'll see if I get through the whole thing. But anyways, it's about Concord. For those that don't know, it's a nice hero shooter that came out the 23rd, I believe it dropped in August.
Yeah.
And we had covered it, I think, a couple months before, and it didn't look like anything groundbreaking or revolutionary from my standpoint. I was kind of just like another hero shooter. Reminded me a lot of like Guardians of the Galaxy type of humor and that kind of like style. So it's kind of just, for me, it's just kind of a pass for me. It's like nothing really intrigued me when I first saw it. But anyways, that's what this article is about. So Concord's low turnout has led to usual jubilation over the prospect of seeing a big game fail. So it's pretty interesting, I think, take. And so we'll read through some of it. So Sony Hero Shooter Concord launched late last week, and its Steam concurrents haven't yet topped 1,000. The PC not looking good. So
that's pretty low.
The dramatically low turnout has already earned it the title of biggest flop of the year on social media. And if you caught any of the discussion on Reddit, TikTok, or other platforms over the weekend, you mostly saw people gloating, posting screenshots of SteamDB concurrency charts, and tacking on a generic dunk or claiming it rules. That we can all see a big game fail. The jubilation of Concord's low turnout is apparently cracked the top 50 bestsellers on the PS Store over the weekend, derives to some degree from an I told you so sense of justice. The idea that out-of-touch, creatively bankrupt executives are cynically chasing trends, and that the rest of us would have had the common sense to avoid releasing a Concord, a Marvel's Avengers, a Suicide Squad, a Gotham Knights, or that perplexing Gollum game. But it's not actually that easy to know why one game succeeds and another doesn't. Remember Gollum, Mike?
I think it's pretty understand. Like it's easy to understand why the Gollum game didn't succeed. All right.
Oh, Gollum was
and Suicide Squad, dude. Just play the game, man. Before you release it. Sometimes that's all that matters.
Dude, yeah, we could get into Suicide Squad too, because that game was just it's rough, man. Missing the mark. We'll just leave it at that. So the devs at Firewalk Studios, many of whom are ex-Bungie, have made a game in the genre that they have experience in and released it without a free-to-play monetization we so often complain about, which isn't a cynical or underhanded thing to do. But concurrency numbers have, in some situations, acquired a moral quality. If you release an unpopular game, everyone is suddenly morally justified to shame and embarrass you. Whether it's because all big budget games are bad or live service games are bad, or did too much woke, pick one. And that was another thing I've seen a lot of the discourse around Concord was it was like, and like when I scrolled through some of the Metacritic reviews, most of it was like woke this, woke that, or like they're trying to like touch on certain things. That was what I saw a lot of. I mean, which
that's
to me
so lame.
I just doesn't like that doesn't bother me. It's just like is the game good?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's what's most important to me. Anyways, but that was a lot of the discourse from what I saw in reviews. So my guess that the real reason for all of this grave dancing is that it feels like a victory over FOMO. If the new $40 game sucks and no one is playing it, I can safely go back to whatever I was playing before without worrying that anyone's having fun without me. Reading up on unpopular games is also a way to passively farm a satisfying sense of vindication. If I never paid attention to a game that fails at launch, it affirms the correctness of my judgment and the immaculacy, and that's a crazy word, the immaculacy of my taste without any effort on my part. I mean, he's not wrong. I think like when I think there's a certain aspect too, like when I see someone, it's like, oh, that game sucks. Dang, I mean, I like with this game, I felt like it was probably not going to be good from what I saw, but it's like when you see that, it kind of just, I mean, I think to his point, it's kind of just like it validates that, like, oh yeah, wasn't good. Glad I didn't get it. So, I mean, I think there's some truth to what he's saying there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I think blindly hating on a game just to hate on a game. He's making a great point. But when
That's
there are
true,
things that are going on in a game where it's just plain out not fun and the game's not finished, the graphics. I don't really care too much about graphics. It's the functionality of the game. Does the game work? Does it crash frequently? Does it is it fun to play? Is it easy to if it's a shooter? Is it like easy to aim? Like, can I learn it? Is there a skill yet? Like these things matter to me. Is the story good? Is it good storytelling? Is it continuity? Is it
Yeah.
a typical archetype? Or is it like there's an agenda? Like what's going on? These things are more concerning, I think. I don't have an opinion about Concord because I forgot about it completely.
No.
And it's just like I forgot about it probably because the marketing wasn't good. And if it was a good game, it would be all over Twitter right now because a game that's not even released right now is Deadlock.
All over
And
the
that's
place.
going all over the place because it's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're good, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what you're pushing. Like you could be pushing horrible things, but that game's fun. Dog, they're gonna be playing it. Like High on Life is an absurd game with an absurd tendencies in it.
Yeah.
Amazing game. Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. It's very true. So we continue on.
Yeah.
So he says, when a struggling game has a high enough profile as Concord does, the reasonable impulse to crack a joke about a Steam concurrence gives way to that sort of thinking, which then gives way to a trash-talking free-for-all that turns the developers into cartoonish corporate stooges and totally warps the reality of the game. Kind of spitting.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Remember Battlefield 2042? Remember that game? I do.
Oh, I got it day one. That thing was bugged to hell, and I had to wait like three to 6 months for it to be fixed.
Yeah. So for those that don't remember, Battlefield 2042 became one of these dog piles back when it launched, and to make their point, its detractors started copying and pasting a giant list of features from previous Battlefield games that DICE was accused of, quote, removing, including features I don't remember anyone liking in the first place. I never saw anyone use Battlefield 1's fortification building system, but it became a must-have feature as soon as it could have been used as a bludgeon. Like a bludgeon, like
beat them up.
Yeah. I don't think the mistake DICE made with Battlefield 2042 was not making a list of every discrete feature that's ever been in a Battlefield game and then putting them all into one game. But through the warped lens of Reddit and other platforms, that's what the conversation became. There's a nice little Reddit post. You're laughing. Sony spent $300 million Concord, and on release couldn't break past 700 concurrent players, and you're laughing.
Yo, dude. That's another one of those things too. Because when it's a studio or a game that's predominantly on one of the consoles, you get that stupid console war crap coming out.
Comes out.
You know
the
what I
rhetoric,
mean?
dude.
Like
That rhetoric.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, Sony flopped. Oh, Sony flopped," and because like the Microsoft guys are all upset too. It's like, dude, like, what are you doing, man? What do you care? It's not your game.
Yeah. So
Childish.
Concord's Steam launch numbers are astronomically, astonishingly low for a blockbuster competitive game, but the piranha-like gnashing or gnawing, I guess is another word you could use, of social media hasn't delivered any real insight into why it's fared so poorly. Some onlookers have said with conviction that Concord's $40 price tag was obviously one of the problems, forgetting that Helldivers 2, the biggest breakout game of the year, and the game also published by Sony, is also $40. In a saturated market where 39 games release on Steam each day on average, I'm not convinced the price was the problem. Concord couldn't even get a large audience to give it a shot during its free beta. It had a free beta? I'm gonna be real. I don't think I knew that.
I had no
Maybe we reported
idea,
it, but
dude.
I don't know.
I had no idea. It was wait, no, Concord. Sometimes it's like I. You know what I think is really tough about this? If I remember correctly, so it's a 5-on-5 shooter, right? First person
Yeah.
hero shooter.
Yeah.
And it's when you looked at it, it was very similar to what do you call it? Overwatch, right?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
sure there's some
Yeah,
elements
it
there.
was very similar to Overwatch. The problem with that is you're not gonna be better than Overwatch. Sorry.
Hard to.
It's gonna be
Deadlock.
very difficult to do.
Deadlock.
Deadlock is an Overwatch though.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like
different enough.
yeah, completely different. It's unique, and you also had people playing it and having fun.
Yeah.
Whereas Conquered, yeah, I thought it looked cool. Don't get me wrong, but if it didn't offer anything new, people are just gonna be like, "Oh, it's just a rip off of Overwatch," and
Yeah.
then why not just go play Overwatch? And most people now are burned out on Overwatch, which is tough.
Yeah. Yeah. He continues to say, I don't have the one true answer, but my take for now is that Concord isn't selling a fantasy or a narrative that's getting FPS players excited to play in the first place. Before they've even decided whether they like its guns, characters, and modes, the one reason I can imagine is struggling. It's struggling is that respect is that they doesn't have an easy, disseminated identity rooted in competitive shooter pedigree, and its competitors
Yes.
do. Valorant
Yeah.
is obviously Counter-Strike, right? And it's unrelated to that.
Yeah. Very similar.
It's
Spin-off.
easy. Yeah, it's easy to tell your Discord friends it's CS:GO with League of Legends from the League of Legends studio. Like, I mean, yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, very easy to sell, really.
Yeah, it is. Apex Legends came from Infinity Ward lineage. Deadlock is Dota plus TF2. Okay, that's I don't know if I heard it described that way, but that's a good one. Concord comes from ex-Bungie devs, but I don't get the impression that Destiny 2 fans perceive it as an offering with any deep spiritual connection to their beloved space fashion game, of which the PvP Crucible is a small part. It's true, dude.
True.
Dude, it's
True.
so true. So true, dude. It's hard to
I
believe
mean,
it.
my man's speaking facts.
So
I agree
true.
with that entire thing right there.
Yeah, I do too. No rebuttal. It's just facts, dude.
Just, yeah, man's cooking. Let him cook.
He's still cooking, bro. Let's see. So dramatic post-launch turnarounds do happen, and maybe updates in a sale can get Concord some momentum. Or maybe there just isn't enough oxygen available to a game with Concord's particular characteristics in late August of 2024, a period that included one of the fastest-selling games ever on Steam, a World of Warcraft expansion, great new games like Tactical Breach Wizards, and now Valve's own hero-based MOBA shooter hybrid. DICE went on a years-long Battlefield 2042 overhaul campaign, and after its rough launch, it's possible Firewalk will stick with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah, they're gonna have to stick with it for at least 6 months.
They would have to. I mean,
That's so much money that they spend on it. $300 million apparently.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
That meme.
They're not gonna just give up on that.
Yeah,
there's no way.
It's a huge loss they did.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm gonna see the end of the article. Close out. So
Yeah,
either way, the reflex to cheer for Concord's failure as if it's deserved only produces resentment and misunderstandings, creating an environment where everything is deemed obvious and real analysis is drowned out in favor of shareable quips, surface level observations, and hyperbole. These are not the ugliest character designs you've ever seen. Reddit, get a grip. Yeah, Reddit. What the heck, man? Wasn't that bad. I remember seeing some of the trailer and I was like, yeah, not bad. You can understand why this is a more comfortable rhetorical lane than reckoning with the more complex reality of a volatile gaming landscape where quality is not the sole predictor of success, where multi-billion-dollar institutions like Sony now often struggle to be heard where it's difficult to make predictions and where it often feels like years of work can be swept away by small miscalculations and rapid changes in taste. Dang, dude. Bars.
Facts.
Bars.
I'm actually, yeah, I don't know why anybody would go to Reddit. Maybe it's just because I've every time I go to Reddit, it's pretty negative and stuff. I don't use it.
I do not frequent Reddit either. I'll be honest. It's a rare use
I know
for
people
me.
that do. That's the thing.
I
And
mean,
they
yeah.
like look at me like I'm freaking crazy when I say I don't really go to Reddit. And it's
Yeah.
because of crap like that, because you can fall into this cycle of just super negativity. And what I found with Reddit, I mean, some of the I know they're not all like this, but maybe you can attest or like maybe you'll relate, but I feel like sometimes people are posting to get upvotes
Oh yeah.
a
I mean, that's
lot of the
every social
time.
media platform, right? People are going to post
Yeah,
outrageous stuff, or like the contrarian take is everywhere, right? No matter what platform you use. Like if you're contrarian, then
yeah.
you get more impressions than if you're, not. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, some people intentionally will post like that just to get views and stuff. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, and in Reddit, I totally agree. I mean, Reddit's just as bad sometimes. It's like, it's hard to trust some aspects of Reddit. I think there's some subreddits and some places where you can find like serious community and like people to connect with you
Yeah.
on certain stuff. Like,
But yeah, I feel like you got to hunt for it.
yeah. I mean,
You know?
sure. I mean, yeah, it's
Uh,
true. But yeah, I mean, all of that being said, I don't frequent Reddit much because yeah, like some of the memes are funny, but I don't know, it's just not a platform for me.
Yeah, my guess is like I feel like in this particular case, the Concord, haven't heard anything that it was very glitchy at all. I
Yeah,
just heard that people forgot about it or were disinterested. They had no idea there was betas and stuff like that. Maybe I feel like we're pretty connected to the gaming sphere just because of us doing the podcast and like always on Twitter, like
yeah,
looking for new stuff. I didn't see much about Concord at all.
yeah. I mean, I
So
didn't either.
it could be a marketing issue compiled with just people looking for something to come after and
Yeah,
like be upset about.
it's true. It's true. I think like he mentioned an article about price. He doesn't really think price is a factor, but I think I almost disagree with that
Could
though,
be.
because I think price for a game like this, when you already have like free alternatives that are probably just as good if not better, that's where I
Yeah.
think it could be an issue. Like I think, like I don't know, like Helldivers 2 is a success because it's so different and there's not really much like it,
Yes.
right? So I think
Yeah.
it's justified for the price, in my opinion. And that's not to say devs shouldn't make money, especially if the budget really was 300 million. Like you got to make it back somehow. But I just think for a game
No,
like
but
this, you shoot yourself in the foot kind of if you have a price tag.
yeah, I mean, it's the market's the market. And if you're trying to build a game that's somewhat similar, or people might even think that it's similar to another game that's free, and you try to
Mm,
charge money for your game, regardless of what type of game it is, they're going to look at that and just be like, no, I'm not interested.
yeah, it's just bad
Why would I
business.
do that?
Like,
Yeah, why did I do that?
yeah,
You know, or like
I
it
agree.
comes with a subscription package I'm already paying for. It's like I just go play the other one
Yeah,
where
it's
there's
true.
more people already established and I'm more familiar with it, you know?
Yeah,
It's different.
it doesn't make sense from a business standpoint, right? Like
Yeah,
you'd be dumb to do that, which Conquer may have
exactly.
fallen victim to. Like, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think it's the Sony thing. It really is because Sony really bottled it with Helldivers 2. That thing was on the top of the world, and they were just like, okay, everybody has to have a Sony account to log in. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
they took it
Okay, well
back and then
yeah, they're like,
yeah,
well, this is yeah. It's like, okay, well, we had a nice run, and all my friends stopped playing the game, and they took it back months later. I think
yeah,
it maybe a month later. It probably
something like
wasn't
that.
months
Yeah.
plural, but it wasn't very. It was like less than 6 weeks. We'll say that month and a half. That happened, and I'm like, okay, guys, we can go back now. It should be fine. They're just like, I don't care anymore. It's like that's how quick it
Yeah,
happens
dude.
in
Yeah,
2024. It's like
it's
if you
true.
don't catch the audience and retain it, and then keep people talking about it, you're gonna lose them.
It's true, dude.
So,
So true, dude. These attention spans, these Gen Zers, as they say in England.
dude, they're just doom scrolling forever.
Dude.
Just doom scrolling forever.
What's the new one?
What was that
Gen
kid?
Alpha? I think it's the new one, dude.
Oh,
It's
they're
even worse,
the
dude.
gen melted. That's what they are. Like brains are gone, brother. Um,
Oh man.
it's too early to say that. I shouldn't bash generations like this. Only the boomers, they're the worst. But I remember seeing that video. Slide note before we move on to the next article. That's also by PC Gamer. Um, I think Crazy Miller shared it to us, the kid that had to be maybe like 9 years
Yep.
old
I know what you're talking
on
about.
his phone doing like was the Rune Runner or whatever it's called,
Yeah,
Temple
doing
Runner.
Temple Run or
Yeah,
whatever.
Temple Runner watching a video on YouTube in the top right hand corner at double speed
Yeah, like
and getting
DDoS.
text messages, dude. It's like what?
It's like, dog. I'm sorry, bro. If I'm watching a TV show, Mike, I am glued to that thing. If I check my phone for 5 seconds, I feel like I've missed 30 minutes. Like I can't.
Oh, same. How many times, dude? I have to pause
Mhm.
and then read a text message, or if
I'm
I'm like, no,
saying.
I can handle it. Like, there's a slow part in this
Yeah,
movie or
yeah.
show, and like, even when it's a drama show, the most boring kind of shows, it's so boring and like slow.
Yeah.
I'll just pull out my phone, like, start looking at it, I'm like, oh crap, I was gone for like 3 minutes. Let me rewind this. You know?
That's how it is, dude. I don't know, dude. I can't do it. And like, I mean, I don't look. I think the research around multitasking too is like it's impossible to do. Your brain just moves to things quickly for focus, right? So like you could focus on other things fast, but you can't two things at once. It's not possible for the brain.
It's not two things at once that's the problem. It's two similar things at once. Like you can't watch two shows at the same exact time.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
makes sense.
you have to focus on one to the other, but you can do something that like guitarists are prime example is this. They can sing, they can read notes at the same time and play guitar. And like those are
That's a good
like
point, yeah.
multiple but those are like compartmentalization of your brain and how your body functions.
It's like
You
a drummer
can't
with 4 limbs, dude.
Yeah,
Drummer can move
exactly.
4 limbs
And
differently. Yeah.
and they can also sing. There are drummers that sing too. So it's like
It's a lot.
yeah, it's like there are multiple things you can do, but they can't be the same thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I would argue too that like it eventually gets down to like if you rehearse a lot and you practice, it just gets down to muscle memory. So you're kind of like able to sort of like go on autopilot with your with your hands and your legs.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
you're 100% right. Yeah,
you're focusing on the performance of singing if that is what you're doing. So
dude, can you sing and play guitar at the same time? That stuff is hard, man.
I mean, a little bit, but I have to really practice. Like I have to make sure like I know what I'm playing because if I don't, it's just bad.
Yeah,
so it's hard, dude.
It's tough. It's tough. All right.
Oh, dude, are you ready to rip somebody, Mike? I gave you this one, dude.
Dude, I'm ready to rip. Yeah, you're all about this. So this one's coming from Andy Chalk, who we've covered multiple times over at the PC Gamer website or magazine, whatever you want to call it. They even exist, magazines. If everybody remembers those. This title, Game Informer. Oh, yeah. PC Gamer over here calls it. The title of the article is former marathon director Christopher Barrett was reportedly fired by Bungie for inappropriate behavior with female employees. Barrett was replaced as director on Marathon in March and left the studio a month later. Dog, you were only there for a month? A month?
Dude. This guy stinks.
Dude, that is
SpongeBob meme. Oh, brother. This guy stinks.
I kind of want to start playing soundboards on the pod. That'll get so annoying so quickly, dude. All right, let's get into it. I can't believe. Did you know about this? This article broke this week.
Yeah, it was it's fresh, dude. I think it was like I think Jason Schreier posted about it like maybe 7-8 hours ago. It's fresh.
Yeah.
So
it's insane. All right. Here's the report. This is how the article goes. Bungie announced in March that its upcoming Marathon reboot had a new game director, Joe Ziegler, the former director of Riot's online shooter Valorant, who joined Bungie in 2022. Ziegler took over from Christopher Barrett, well known among Bungie fans as a designer and director on the Halo and Destiny games, who'd been on the studio for nearly 25 years. Okay, so he got posted. So he's always been with Bungie. That's crazy.
Literally.
And then he got posted as the director of the game and then got booted a month after. You got promoted and busted in less than a month. That means something was going on for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And it got brought to HR's attention when they were just like, you're going to promote this guy?
Yeah. It's so, like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
At least Bungie did something, apparently. Whereas Activision Blizzard just let that stuff go on for years.
Shake my head, dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jason Schreier, dude, I'm thinking about getting his new book because it's all in Blizzard. So his new book comes out like in October, and it's about, I think it's titled like The Rise and Fall of Blizzard or something like that. It's but apparently he goes into detail with a lot of that stuff. So I might get it because it got me intrigued.
You might get sued. You might get sued, dude.
That's why I gotta get the book fast, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Great. All right, let's go. Where was I at? Okay, a reason for Barrett's surprise departure wasn't provided, but a new Bloomberg report says he was fired following an investigation into multiple complaints about inappropriate workplace behavior. My man was there for 25 years and got comfortable.
Boo.
They caught you slacking, bro.
Lacking hard, bro. Boo.
Oh my gosh. This is bad, dude. At least,
At
at
least.
least 8 women at Bungie had complained about Barrett, according to multiple sources.
Oh,
And the
man.
subsequent investigation found that he had called lower-ranking female employees attractive and asked them to play truth or dare
No.
and talked about his wealth and power within Bungie, apparently suggesting that he could help their careers at the company. Quid pro quo?
Bro, my face is caving in.
Oh,
My face is caving in.
it's over. Career done. Dog.
Bro.
Talked about your wealth and power within Bungie. Yeah,
Oh.
you ain't got no
Keyword.
wealth and power now,
Listen,
dog.
bro. Keyword at least 8, because you know it was more than 8. You just know. Oh my gosh, man. My face hurts.
His last tweet would be cool if Wukong opened the door for other games based on myths or legend lesser known in the West to be made. Dude, you can't talk anymore, bro.
It'd be cool if you opened the door and found the way out, but hey, they did it for you, buddy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's continue on. So sources told the site that Barrett would befriend women at the company, then send them flirtatious text messages and requests to hang out.
Trying to hang.
Multiple complainants said the messages were unwanted and made them uncomfortable because of the extreme imbalance of power involved. It's not easy to say no to one of the biggest names at the company, after all. Dude, this is gross, man. I'm gonna have to take another shower.
This is next level cringe, bro. I need to wash the cringe off. I hate it.
I got a lot of like isopropylene alcohol. Just dip my whole body in that.
So I got
Burn it
99%. Maybe I'm just gonna.
So bad. All right. Ugh. All right. So Barrett denied any
Yeah, of course he
intentional
did.
wrongdoings in a
Of course he
statement
did.
provided to Bloomberg. I feel that I have always conducted myself with integrity and being respectful and supportive of my colleagues, many of whom I consider my closest friends. I never understood my communications to be unwanted, and I would have never thought they could possibly have made anyone feel uncomfortable. If anyone ever felt that way about their interaction with me, I am truly sorry.
Brother.
Okay,
Brother.
that's what they all say.
That's what they all say. Dude. Dog.
8? At least 8?
Dog. Bro, you're telling me high-ranking executive at this company. There ain't no way you're this dumb, bro. There ain't no way you're this emotionally stupid, bro. Like, there's no shot. I just like
my man got comfortable, I guess.
There's no way he like sends messages and then thinks like, oh yeah, it's a great idea, and doesn't like reflect on it and be like, maybe I should have said that. Like, there's no way that's not a thing. There's some intention behind it, bro. There has to be.
I mean, if you have like an ego and you've been in the zone for 25 years and you just think like this is acceptable and you've always been doing it, like things were kind of different 10, 15 years ago where that stuff was going on all the time.
Yeah.
He didn't get the annoying HR, don't be a freaking creep 3-day freaking videos that everybody gives in corporate speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I sit on those once a year and it's wild, man.
And they give you
wild.
Dude, it's just straight up the like the funniest examples too. And you're just like, there's people
they're
that do this. Like,
well, that's what they said. They were just like, this is real life examples of what people do. Man, bro, I know dudes. Dudes are stupid. Are stupid sometimes. They turn into dumb apes, just not knowing what to do and how to behave. So it's like I'm gonna trust the at least 8 women at Bungie saying this.
Yeah.
And also, you don't just get fired when people say like they don't go to the media and tell people.
Yeah,
no, they go to HR. There was a legal investigation at HR before he got fired.
Yeah, there was, dude.
Otherwise, he would sue the heck out of Bungie.
Yeah, exactly,
that's how corporate works. Like, what are you doing? This is nuts, bro.
Dumbass.
All right, do I continue on? Yeah, let's go. Maybe there's some more context. Maybe we're jumping to conclusions.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because there's at least 8, bro. Uh,
State.
gracious.
Ooh.
The report on the circumstances behind Barrett's termination comes at a time of deep turmoil at Bungie, which has been
Facts.
racked by large-scale layoffs. That's true.
Facts.
Tensions with parent company Sony, dissatisfaction with studio management among employees and fans alike, and seemingly endless struggles with this flagship game, Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is struggling, but it's not as bad as the other ones, I think. Let's be real here. Don't take this out on. Don't use this as an opportunity to go after Destiny 2.
Don't get
Come
Destiny
on.
2 involved. What are we doing?
Yeah, seriously, dude. So Barrett has been a producer of the Forsaken expansion that released in September 2018 and was widely credited with turning the game's fortunes around during another time when community dissatisfaction was perilously high. Okay, he was credited because he was the highest ranking guy there at the time. He was the engineers behind the throttle over there, all right?
Listen, dude. It's the grunts, dude. It's always.
It's always the grunts, man. It's always the interns and the guy that's like 5 years worth of experience in 2 years' time. Just grinding, bro. It's that guy. That guy is saving your game, bro. Or girl. Let's not be sexist here. So, this is fucking. Sorry for cursing, but just use the marathon reboot itself, about which virtually nothing has been said since its announcement in May 2023, has also reportedly been delayed to 2025. That's not really a shocker. I think it was always going to be delayed, if I'm being honest.
Ain't no way it was coming out this year, bro.
Yeah. PC Gamer's own sources at Bungie have indicated that development of the game is substantially behind schedule and generally troubled.
Yikers.
Dude, it makes sense that it's troubled and it's behind. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Marathon's struggling right now. We get that. We've seen a whole bunch of layoffs at Bungie. I wonder.
Of course it is, bro.
Like, dude,
of course it is when you have a doofus like Chris Barrett running your organization, bro. Oh, sorry.
That's just. I think they're going to be okay. Let's talk about something a little bit better. Joe Ziegler taking over, and he was the former director at Riot's online shooter Valorant.
Facts.
Valorant is a success. Let's call that what it is. It's a very strong game, and hopefully Ziegler over here can turn the ship around and get Marathon on track, and also help out in the company, change the culture, just bring freaking peace to like the females in the company. You know, just not have that guy. But holy crap, man! I kind of just want to curse him out, you know? It's just like, how is this?
Oh, man.
What are you doing, man?
It's the only question I can ask, dude. What are you doing, dude? These thick, dense dudes. Thick, dense dudes.
Yeah. Nerds with power, dude. They're going to take everything down.
I hate it. I hate that.
I'm just making stuff up. Dude, he asked them to play Truth or Dare?
Dog. That is
Truth or Dare?
That's cringe. I'm sorry, bro. I can't.
Dude.
Like I don't like using the word cringe. I don't like using the word cringe, but in a situation like this, bro, it is what it is. I'm actually like cringing inside. Like I just want to my face just goes inside of my head. I don't like it.
I'm going to try to paint a picture for you, brother. Let's see if I can do this.
You opened up Microsoft Paint, bro.
I'm trying to find trying to find like maybe a little bit about him. I don't. So, hold on. Filmmaker. No, he's not a filmmaker. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to figure out how old he is because it's like he's been with the company for 25 years. He was probably with Bungie early on, right?
Bro's probably.
I'm not trying to. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to dox the guy, but like, let's be real. They're probably mid 40s to late.
He has
early
to be.
50s.
Yeah, he has to be like mid 40s.
Like just mathematically, like that's probably how it went.
Starts at 20. Starts 19, 20.
Yeah. So
25 years. Yeah. 50.
Yeah. So imagine the director of your studio, 50 years old, is hitting on year 2 entry level game designer.
No way.
You want to play Truth or Dare? Dog, she's half your age.
You want to play Truth or Dare? Truth?
Like, you want to hang out? Like, what do you?
Hey, got a new build at my place. You want to come hang out? We can play.
Dude, texting them text messages, bro. You are not
outside of working hours, bro.
No,
iTunes wants me to update. This is ridiculous, man.
It's gonna be a no for me, dog.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I hate quit, bro. You think I hit next? Oh,
Mm-mm.
listen. We have one more article, Mike.
We do.
Should we pivot off of Mr. Barrett, dude?
Yeah, let's wash it off of us, the filth,
All right, listen.
and drive us into something else that's almost as dirty.
We know, you know, Jason Schreier. He was the main one that broke the news about Mr. Barrett. But he also posted an article. I remember I sent this to you, Mike, because I saw the tweet and I was like, Jason's kind of talking about something I've been thinking about, and that is Xbox's exclusive video game strategy, leaving everyone confused. And so I think it's a pretty interesting read. So Jason Schreier goes on. He says, again, this is Bloomberg. Hold this. So he said, Xbox not so exclusives. Microsoft Corporation's Xbox and Sony Group Corporation's PlayStation have long been the Pepsi and Coke of video games. Bitter rivals, each with their own factions of loyal fans. Ain't that right, dude? Sony ponies unite, baby.
Yeah, Sony ponies. I don't think I've ever heard that before in my life.
You never heard of that? Dude,
I don't think I have, dude.
Nah, dude, that's
crazy.
Like, that used to be like the number one term, like whenever Xbox would talk about Sony players, the Sony ponies, bro.
Oh my god.
Dude. All right, listen,
dude. I'm stealing that. Well,
Nintendo,
game, yeah.
Nintendo company, once a third contender, is now in its own world. Blue Ocean strategy, as we talked about. They just made their own games. They made their own content. We don't need you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Said leave us alone.
He said, I love this. He said it's less Dr. Pepper and more, say, Starbucks. That's probably an accurate analogy. So both video game giants built stables of internal game developers to develop franchises solely for their own consoles. These exclusives were the main reason to pick one over the other. You play Halo and Gears of War, you need to buy an Xbox. For Uncharted and Last of Us, you have to buy PlayStation. It's so true, and that's how it worked for forever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Forever after.
Gone are the days, though.
Beyond. But
the pivot
a series,
has happened.
We got to talk about it. A series of poor business decisions in 2013 gave the PlayStation 4 a huge lead over the Xbox One, and Microsoft's gaming group has been playing catch-up ever since. Microsoft no longer reports hardware sales, but analysts estimate that the latest PlayStation is now outselling the Xbox upwards of 5-1. To make up for this,
I think that's too much, but it's a lot. They're definitely outselling.
It's a lot. But we talk about it. Xbox hardware is not the main thing. Anyway, to make up for this hardware deficit, Xbox has doubled down on Game Pass, a subscription service that allows players to access the ever-growing catalog of games for a low monthly fee. Under Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, the label also went on a spending spree, buying game studios and publishers, Bethesda, Activision Blizzard, to name a few. But since closing the Activision deal last fall, Xbox has made a series of moves that have left fans and analysts baffled about its overall strategy. It has laid off thousands of staff, shuttered studios, and been unable to articulate a consistent message about how it plans to release games. Xbox fans assumed these big acquisitions would lead to more exclusive games that helped justify their console purchase, but the opposite has happened. Earlier this year, Microsoft began putting some of its former exclusives on PlayStation, starting with smaller, older titles such as Hi-Fi Rush. This week, the company announced that another big new title will follow the same route. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, coming in December to Xbox and PC, will arrive on PlayStation in the spring of 2025. Ditching console exclusives is good news for players who can only afford to stick to one piece of hardware, and Microsoft has been able to squeeze the Activision deal past regulatory scrutiny, in part because it promised to continue releasing Call of Duty on PlayStation. However, Xbox's release strategy has been so confusing it requires a massive spreadsheet and a full-time job to keep track of it. Even within a single label, the company's choices are inconsistent. It's period at the end of that sentence. So,
yeah.
We take Bethesda, which Microsoft acquired in 2020. 3 games from the publisher have inexplicably different rollout plans. Last year, Starfield was released only on Xbox and PC with no PlayStation version in sight. Indiana Jones will be a timed exclusive coming to PlayStation a few months after its initial release. But the upcoming Doom: The Dark Ages, scheduled for 2025, will release simultaneously on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. Obsidian, the well-regarded game maker that was purchased by Microsoft in 2019, recently put out PlayStation versions of 2 games, Pentiment and Grounded. Yet its next game, Avowed, is scheduled to come out in February of 2025 on just PC and Xbox, with no announced PlayStation release. These rollouts make little sense. Perhaps the company is still trying to straddle the line between reaching as many players as possible and burning fans who bought Xbox hardware under the belief that they would not be able to get those games elsewhere. But this sporadic, case-by-case strategy benefits nobody and baffles everybody. Take a quick pause there.
Facts.
I mean, yeah. And then when you really think about it and he lays it out like that, it's like, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't, like, at all. It's like, what's the goal
does
here?
not make sense.
Trying to appease everybody, but also make the money that they want to make.
Yeah. Come on, Xbox. Look, dude. So continuing on, it's not hard to discern why Xbox is chasing PlayStation players. Former Xbox exclusives, Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves, have seen big audiences on the rival platform. This year has been all about cutting costs and generating more profit for Xbox, which has faced increased scrutiny from Microsoft since the Activision purchase, Bloomberg has reported. Spencer admitted as much this week when asked about the decision to put Indiana Jones on PlayStation. We run a business, he said. It's definitely true and said inside of Microsoft, the bar is high for us in terms of the delivery that we have to give back to the company because we get a level of support from the company that's just amazing what we're available to go do. Or, reading between the lines, Microsoft let us spend $69 billion to buy Activision, and now we better deliver. But all of Spencer's changes have made the Xbox hardware less valuable to potential audiences. The best move, the winning move, would be for Spencer and his team to eschew,
I think.
Jason, what are we talking about here, Shar? Would be to eschew exclusives. I'm assuming it means like, bring back exclusive. That's probably the synonym. And rethink its console strategy entirely. In 2017, I wrote on Twitter that Xbox had clearly lost the hardware war to PlayStation and should consider transforming its consoles into living room PCs and open operating systems that could run any computer game. As the company behind the Windows operating system, Microsoft is in a unique position to sell machines that combine the convenience and affordability of consoles with the flexibility of PCs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spitting. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, that's 100% what they've been doing too.
Yeah.
Schreier's just out here pointing out that, like, I said it, it's happening.
Look, I was the first one. I don't know what they're talking about. Listen, at the time, Spencer called the notion strange. But what's really strange is not knowing where and when your games are going to be released. Cooked. Bars. Drop the mic. Yeah, and the rest of the article is him talking about, like, what you could play this weekend. Tactical Breach Wizards came out. So,
yeah.
And yeah, some other articles.
That's cool, though.
I mean, yeah, a small little article, but, but like when I just thought, I was reading that and I was like, yeah, he makes a point. Like, what are they doing with these exclusives in quotes? Because there's no strategy right now, seemingly.
No, there's really not. It's like
whatever.
I don't know. I think it's kind of to appease the Xbox fanboys a little bit.
Maybe.
So that they have something to like talk trash about with Sony, because the console war kind of argument that's always online. It seems. I mean, it's getting quieter and quieter because I don't think there's a war anymore. I think it's self-branding in a way. It's like, if you can keep that going, then other people are going to be talking. It's almost like creating a controversy that doesn't matter so that it goes viral on Twitter for like 2 days.
Yeah, clicks.
For the clicks and advertising and stuff, because it's cheaper to do that than it is to do an entire marketing campaign.
In most cases, yeah. Virality.
So, it is very strange, though.
Yeah.
What are they trying to do? What's the goal here? I've always assumed, and I've been saying for the longest time with you, is just the goal is to sell subscriptions. That's the number one mission here.
For sure, yeah. That's always
they
the
don't
goal.
care about hardware. Mm-hmm.
I mean, not at this rate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I think reasonably it's probably just like, we're in a weird period where the Activision Blizzard acquisition's done, and so now it's just kind of like a long transition period to figure out what exactly they want to do now that they have all these IPs and all these, studios. So that's probably what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, it's just so funny how it just does not make sense right now of what exactly they want to do in terms of exclusivity and all that. I mean, I feel like a timed exclusive approach is probably, because that's kind of what Sony's doing with PC and like putting games on PC, right? It's like, comes out on PlayStation, then eventually it's a timed exclusive that will come out on PC. So I mean, I don't know, it's probably a similar strategy, but that's probably what Xbox will ultimately do. But there's also some truth too of like, they certainly could take advantage of doing exclusive titles to just Xbox and PC and not include the other guys. But Xbox has also pushed the narrative of trying to, include as many as possible, right? So it would be contradictory to that. So I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how the next 2 years shake out, really. in Xbox's camp.
Yeah, yeah, it will be very interesting. Hopefully, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think we're just in a very weird transitional period for Sony as well. And
Yeah.
what's even happening
Dude,
at Nintendo? Like,
I
is
feel
that
like
Switch
gaming's
2
I
coming?
feel like gaming's in a weird spot, dude. And it's like, yeah, is that Switch 2 coming? I don't know.
It's weird because I think there's more PC gamers than there's ever been. It's
Yeah, for
becoming
sure.
more accessible to play games, and you can kind of build a machine cheaper than you can build a PlayStation or Xbox at this point in
Yeah, I
time.
mean, and even if it's a little more expensive, you might as well just build a PC, dude.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the thing. Just save up an extra like month or two, whatever your circumstances are. You can save up
yeah.
and try to get a machine. So I don't know. It's gonna be weird because I still feel like
Oh,
console sales for Xbox are going down, but they're always steady for PlayStation. So,
yeah.
hey,
Yeah. It's
something to
weird.
keep track of, I guess.
Yeah, certainly, dude. Certainly. Yeah, I thought it was kind of an interesting little take, but it kind of lays it out. But yeah, it's true, dude. But
Yeah,
we had a weird range of articles this week. I must say, it was like it was
yeah, it
interesting.
was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting just to like bounce off of all these different topics. It's been a while since we've done that. Just like what's actually happening, more opinion based articles,
Yeah,
and less about like the tech reviews or a new game releasing
about
and
just
stuff.
direct like this is happening, or some
Yeah,
just like
it's like, yo,
here.
check this
Here's a
out, dude. What
take.
the
Here's what
heck?
we think.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty cool. I don't know. I had fun this week.
I did too. Did too.
Yeah. What are you planning on doing now? You gonna go back to watching some college football?
Yeah, probably. I know there's some
Yeah.
game. There's a lot of Thursday games this week since there's no like actual NFL yet. So just like
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
college is just showing a ton of games, but I don't know. I'll probably try and catch a few here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I do want to try and get on Flintlock some. You know, see how that story difficulty is. Oh
Yeah,
man.
you should. I'm trying to play Deadlock whenever that gets out. I played Splitgate 2 over the week. The
How'd you
weekend. That
like that?
was a lot of fun. Yeah, I had a good time. I mean, it was nice to just play something semi different.
Yeah.
Um, I'm excited for Splitgate 2 to officially launch. I'm gonna be on that game a little bit more. And I I got annoyed because it was in alpha. It wasn't easy for me
Mm.
to like repath or remap my buttons on my gamepad.
Uh,
So that was really annoying, but I was like, you know what? I'll just adapt for now and then revisit this when the full game comes out. It's like I don't want to spend like an hour to fix this.
yeah. No, it's not
Let's
worth
just play a couple of games and learn as we go and get bopped along the way. It's fine. It doesn't
it.
matter. Um,
Just see what
yeah,
the game's like. You know.
exactly,
Yeah,
dude.
sure. Word,
All right,
dude.
sir.
Word.
Yeah, let's wrap up. We're getting kind of late here. I got some things I got to take care of before bed.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for listening. This has been the M2 podcast. Just recap real quick. All our social media accounts, links, everything is below in the description. There's also timestamps, most importantly, and links to all the articles that we covered. So go check them out, read them yourselves, show love and support there. There's some hilarious comments. I don't know if you read the comments while I'm reading, but sometimes I'll click on comments and I'm just like, these guys are furious or this is pretty hilarious. And that's why I try to share every now and then. But yeah, anyways, like, subscribe. We'll see you next week. I'm Michael Anthony, Kyle Heath. This is the M2 podcast, and we'll just wrap it up here. So check you out. Keep on gaming.
Everyone, keep
See you
gaming.
later.
Check out Retro GameStop. Bye.
Yeah, facts, actually. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
By the chords.